Next, Pakistani Christian woman Asia Bibi, who spent 8 years on death row for blasphemy, has been freed from jail. Her lawyer has confirmed the news. Pakistan's highest court overturned Bibi's conviction and ordered her release. She had been kept in jail as the government agreed to allow a review following Islamist protests over what became a bitterly divisive case in Pakistan. Now, Asia Bibi's release is confirmed, her whereabouts kept secret, her future in Pakistan very much uncertain. Let's bring in for comment and analysis Sheraz Khan, who is founder of the Global Minorities Alliance, joining us from Dundee in Scotland. Sheraz, thank you very much for joining us. I said in the introduction there that the future of this poor woman is in doubt in Pakistan. Is there any way she could stay there, or are we going to see that she's going to leave the country? Is that the most likely outcome?
Absolutely. There is no way Asia Bibi, after she's been through and given the fact that she is seen as a blasphemer by the religious right, so there's no way she's safe, or there's no way her safety could be protected by the Pakistani authorities. It is highly likely that she would take a flight out of Pakistan into a safe country.
What do you make of this decision to release her? I mean, clearly the Supreme Court made one decision. There were massive protests about that, and the government gave some kind of credence to those by keeping her in prison whilst the protests were going on. But do you see this as a real move for, well, hope for democracy in Pakistan?
It absolutely is, and it all began from the Supreme Court's decision acquitting her of blasphemy. That's unprecedented and historic, and must be commended by all human rights activists and human rights organizations and all moderate men and women around the world. And I would say, yes, it is a step in the right direction. And I personally welcome it on behalf of the Global Minorities Alliance. I congratulate all those people who worked tirelessly to get her released and who campaigned for her.
The very fact that she was on death row for 8 years for blasphemy may seem to many people watching this an extremely strange thing to happen. Explain to us how it did happen, what she might have done, who she might have offended, and why these situations arise.
Are you saying that I give you the background on the case?
Please, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So basically, on the 14th of June 2009, Asia Bibi was then a farmhand. So she was working on this farm, and she asked one of her colleagues if she could drink from one of that Muslim colleague's glass. And when she did that, there was an argument. So words were exchanged between the two women. And as it happens in Pakistan, it was soon given a religious color, and she was accused of having committed blasphemy. And the main complainant of the case was not even there on the ground. So he had a second hand and by some accounts third hand account information suggesting that Asia Bibi had committed blasphemy. And this is one of the things that the Supreme Court said in their judgment. They said that there were inconsistencies in the witness statements in relation to 6 questions that they posed to Asia Bibi. And as you mentioned, her suffering spanned for over 8 years. That speaks a lot about the state of affairs in Pakistan. It also speaks about the appalling level of injustice that there is, because the lower court definitely they came under pressure of the religious rights, and hence they upheld the verdict that was given by the lower court. So that system needs to be changed, and the right procedures need to be adopted. Simply, if somebody just makes a blasphemy complaint against someone, they should not be then put into prison.
Indeed. We respect people's faiths, and that is right and good. But the fact that someone ends up on death row for 8 years of what you described does seem, well, an injustice in the very least. Thank you, sir, very much for joining us for that analysis. Sheraz Khan from Global Minorities Alliance, joining us from Dundee in Scotland. Thank you, Sheraz. Of course, the whereabouts of Asia Bibi being kept secret, but we understand it is very likely she'll be leaving the country, Pakistan, within the next few days.